Hello everyone, in this video we're going to be taking a look at Pop! OS. It's an operating system that requires 2GB of RAM, 16GB of storage and a 64-bit processor. It also needs an optical drive or a USB drive to boot up. It has a very modern and simple to use UI based on GNOME or GNOME, however you want to pronounce it, and that's adapted to focus on productivity. It's also based on Ubuntu 17.10 and it also follows Ubuntu's release schedule, so that will be 2 stable releases per year. Its target market is the computer science industry, so that's basically developers and also people like graphic designers. It's also designed to run specifically on System 76 laptops, although it can easily be run on other machines as well. So let's begin. Right, so the installation is finished. This is much like, well, as you've already seen, very similar to the Ubuntu setup. So let's just go ahead and restart it now. See if it does that pretty good thing as well, where it automatically ejects the ISO file. Yeah, it has. So it's got quite good VM integration, really. Right, so here's the boot screen. As always, it's that very sort of basic looking one because obviously it's a Linux boot screen on its first boot. Here we go. Okay, so here's the setup part. English UK. Turn that off. It's fine. Skip all that. Okay, so I'll just make one of these. Won't bother encrypting the home folder. Do the least secure password in the universe, because I'm probably just going to end up deleting this after that. Oh, they do not match. Did I not press the 6 right? There we are. Okay, so let's just go ahead and is it rebooting? So I assume I just press that and then sign in. Just see what it does, I suppose. Right, so I believe it is now booted up. I don't think there are any desktop icons which will show up. Now, one thing you'll notice about this operating system, if you know anything about art or you've taken an art GCSE or whatever, it's called Pop! OS and it's got a background which is pop art, mostly. So it does sort of make sense why they call it that, but don't know why you put pop art in an operating system. I suppose it sort of makes it look modern and for the new generation sort of thing. But anyway, here are all the applications, frequent as well, that's quite good. And it looks like most of it is just, well, it's very similar to an Ubuntu setup. Firefox built in, got the Geary email client. As to be expected, it's got LibreOffice as well, and a few other things. Yeah. So, if I think about what I could really do, this is just like an Ubuntu installation, really. Let's go to the Pop shop. Now, what does that remind me of? I haven't used Ubuntu in quite a while, but that does remind me of another operating system I reviewed. I think it reminds me of the Elementary OS Software Center. not sure though. But anyway, I think this might just be the GNOME or GNOME Software Center, because it has got the GNOME, or whatever you want to call it, desktop environment, so that'll make sense anyway. Operating system update, shall we see the updater? So whenever you want to update anything, I suppose it'll ask you for a password, and then it'll just go ahead and do that. So that's that anyway. See if there's anything else. I mean, for a minimal OS, I'm not surprised there's not actually much to talk about with it, really. Yeah. As I say, I wonder if the settings look exactly the same. No, not exactly. They don't particularly look the same. I mean, the Ubuntu one is quite a bit different. But yeah, this is just basically, from just looking at it and looking at the information I've got on this OS, it's designed, like I would have said when it was being set up, to run on System 76 laptops, and I presume desktops as well. And there's really not much to it. I suppose it's meant to be a sort of out of the way thing, so you can just focus on your work, much in the way that like Windows Vista was orientated around, just to make everything good. So, well, make everything be out of the way, so you can just focus on what you're doing. And I mean, it says here that it's designed for basically developers. So yeah, I can see that really, because it is just very basic. And I mean, I do like the theme they've put on this anyway, because it does look very modern. Is it something which I'd use on a day-to-day basis? Probably not. I mean, I would just prefer to go with an ordinary Ubuntu installation, because there's not much difference between this and that really. And I mean, they have got the option to go with Ubuntu. I don't really know if this is going to take off or not. I mean, Ubuntu can be very out of your way if you want it to be as well. So yeah, I mean, there's really not much else to this. I mean, it's got developer tools in the way of that, because it's designed for developers. It's not particularly much for that either. It's just like, I think it's designed for the standard user as well. Because I mean, you've just got Firefox and everything. You haven't got anything like what's it called? You haven't got anything like Blender or anything like that, which is in, for example, Ubuntu Studio. That might just be because this OS is in its infancy. I mean, it was only really conceived of in like 2017, and it's early 2018 now. So possibly this will take off at some point, and possibly it will get better. I mean, at the moment, I like its UI. I like how everything's laid out, but I'd still go with Ubuntu personally. And I mean, it might be different for you. I mean, there were a few things that I'm quite impressed with. Like if I open Firefox and something else, settings. So as you can see here, we've got Firefox and we've got the settings there. And if I go to activities, back up to here, you can see the two programs. It separates them out, and then you can choose which program you actually want to open. And I presume that just enables you to look at your desktop as well. Or is that a virtual desktop, I wonder? But yeah, it's got some pretty good features to it, and I do wish them all the best with this project. But at the moment, I'd still use Ubuntu, because all it essentially is, the installation process was pretty much identical to Ubuntu's setup, and virtually everything else is as well, apart from the theme, which is slightly different. So yeah, that's about it for today, really. I do hope you enjoyed this video, and although this has been quite a sort of critical view of this OS, I do wish them the best with making more nice little features for this system, but I wouldn't use it at the moment anyway. I'd still go with the regular Ubuntu. So that's about it. Thank you all very much for watching, and until the next video, goodbye.